Welcome to section 13.2, Factoring Trinomials. So when it comes to factoring trinomials, we have to put it in factor form. And again, I'm not asking to find a solution, just simply factoring. So to begin is to identify your ABC. So A is my invisible 1, B is negative 9 because of the minus 9x, and C is 20. So again, A, B, C, the values are just numbers. And then we're going to do our cross table, our X table. So in the top is where A times C. So 1 times 20 is just 20. And then the bottom is just B, which is negative 9. So on the side, we just look at factors of A times C, which is 20, and then the sum and difference. Now, some would think that they could use 2 times 10, which is true. It does equal to 20. But when you do the sum and difference between a positive 2 and a positive 10, that would be a 12. Doesn't match with our B, so we can't use 2 and 10. And then the next, they would probably use 4 times 5, which will multiply into 20. So we do the sum and difference between 4 and 5. Positive 4 with a positive 5 will be a positive 9. Not exactly matching with our B value, but close. So you have to think in terms of what two numbers can multiply into a positive 20. Well, you could do negative 4 times negative 5, which will also multiply into a positive 20. And then when you combine a negative 4 with a negative 5, the sum and difference will be negative 9. So my factors are negative 4 and negative 5. Once I found the correct pair of factors, I'm just going to put it in factor form. X minus 4 because it was negative, and then x minus 5 because that was also negative. And there's my factors for x squared minus 9x plus 20. To double check, you can just simply FOIL your factors and see if it match. After you double check and it does not match, then you would have to go back to your work and see which correct pair of factors you're supposed to use. So, when factoring trinomial, this is what I am looking for. The pair of factors or factors are basically in factor form. In this example, we're asked to factor x squared minus 11x minus 12. So first, identify ABC. So A is the invisible 1, B is negative 11, and C is negative 12. Alright, set up my X table or my cross table. In the top is A times C, and then at the bottom is just B. So A times C, 1 times negative 12 is negative 12, and then B is negative 11. So from there, we do the factors of A times C, and then sum and difference. Alright, for factors of negative 12, if it's a negative 12, that means that of the two factors, one is positive and one is negative. So you could try negative 6 times 2, or positive 2, that would be negative 12. So let's check the sum and difference between negative 6 and positive 2. When you combine negative 6 with positive 2, the sum and difference will be negative 4. So it doesn't match with our B value. Next, you could try negative 4 times positive 3, which will multiply into negative 12. So when you combine the sum and difference between a negative 4 and a positive 3, the sum and difference is negative 1. Doesn't really match with my negative 11. So next you could try maybe negative 12 times positive 1. Negative 12 times positive 1 is negative 12. So now let's check the sum and difference. The sum and difference between a negative 12 and a positive 1 is negative 11. So it matched with our b value. So my pair of factors are negative 12 and positive 1. So I'm going to just put in factor form. X minus 12, and then x plus 1 because it's positive. Here's my factors, or my factor form, and then this is my final answer. To double check, you can always FOIL and see if it matched with the original trinomial.